Hello and welcome to Green Bull Research. Today we have another exposed investment teaser for you. This one regarding what energy investment analyst Keith Kohl calls 5G Volta that could turn every $1,500 into $120,000 plus. In this video we'll review his lengthy teaser video and determine just what the heck is 5G Volta and expose the stock he's referring to. That's right, a quick summary of his hour-long sales pitch and a free reveal of the company that he is teasing you with. Let's get to it. As usual, the first sign that we've reached a highly optimized sales page is the presence of a video that doesn't tell us how long it is or allow us to skip forward or scroll back. Fortunately, when we try to leave the page, we get a grabber screen that offers us their hidden page. So we click on Stay on Page, and now we can see the transcript of this hour-long video. The story behind this 5G Volta is that he's promoting an $8 stock that could turn every $1,500 into $120,000. And he says all due to one small product that's being shipped out of this factory in upstate New York. As we get into it, we find out what they are actually shipping is tiny electronic modules. And so we continue on to find out what's so important about these modules that they could promise the potential of 3- and 4-digit gains. In typical fashion, we're presented with some successful sales charts of some of the most successful companies in the stock market of all time that were related to various other tech booms. And a note that if we had invested $1,500 in each of these, it'd be worth over $120,000 today. So then he talks a little bit more about this new tech boom, which was initiated by the previous administration's executive order that has something to do with the world's biggest machine. So here we get a bit of an explanation as to how the 5G is involved with 5G Volta. And basically he explains that 5G is the new wireless network that cellular phones use, and that the current 4G network is being upgraded to 5G, which is 100 times faster. So this stock has something to do with 5G coverage, but it's a little bit confusing, so stick with us and we'll uncover it as we get a little bit deeper into it. So now he mentions that this tiny module, that little chip that we just showed you a picture of, plays a critical centerpiece of this 5G plan. But it's not the 5G that he's talking about. It's something related to 5G that he calls 5G Volta, and this deployment is going to require 100 million transmitters. Presumably that'll use the electronic component that we saw above. So he tells us that the 5G Volta is one of the biggest infrastructure projects in US history, and that there's only a tiny company behind the scenes that's powering the huge revolution. $500 could turn into $20,000 in a year. All you have to do is get on board with the $8 stock before the story breaks, and he's going to reveal the name and ticker symbol. But he's not going to reveal it in this presentation. He's going to make us subscribe to a newsletter first. But he's not going to tell us that yet. We're still way too early in the sales presentation to give us that information yet. So here's a little bit more explanation about what 5G Volta is. With 5G, it's possible to have wireless sensors everywhere. And it's these sensors that rely on the electronic component that he's teasing here. He says that the 5G Volta will revolutionize one specific $3 trillion industry. And then he mentions some media hype about popular 5G stocks, and these are not the stocks that he's teasing. He's talking about a stock that nobody else is talking about. It's a stock that hasn't already been run up, and it trades at $8 a share. It's off the radar, so no one knows about it yet. He says the 5G sensors that are based on this tiny module will soon be sitting on 1.5 million high-voltage transmission towers and more than 100 million utility poles, over 55,000 power substations, and the new smart meters that are being rolled out to over 200 million American homes and commercial and industrial customers. He's talking about a massive and long overdue upgrade to the power grid. It's the biggest upgrade to America's power grid in over 100 years. So then we get into the introduction of the analyst here. His name is Keith Kohl. He's an analyst for an energy investment newsletter. He doesn't specifically mention that in his biography here, but he relates some anecdotes about how he made some successful calls in the past. He even claims a 90% win rate, where over 3 years he nailed down 54 winners out of 60 trades. And as he investigated the power grid upgrades, he identified the companies involved. And he thinks that all the evidence that he gathered points to one tiny company coming out as the big winner. And here he gives a clear explanation as to what 5G Volta is. The executive order titled Securing the United States Bulk Power System relies on these tiny modules that he's shown us. He says there's bipartisan support for the upgrades, and that the power grid is the biggest machine in the world, and hasn't seen a bigger upgrade in more than 100 years. But that we can all get on this $1.5 trillion project by buying this company's $8 stock. He thinks that we might make 600, 2,800, or 4,600% gains on the money. And he lets us know that the US power grid needs these modules. And then he lets us know why these modules are linked with 5G. That for the first time in history, more than 100 million wireless sensors can be deployed across the power grid. And he discusses how complex the power grid is, and that when the grid fails, cascade failures can spread exponentially in a matter of hours or even minutes. So an effective grid upgrade entails two critical components: sensors on all potential points of failure, and millisecond-level precise control of the network. This involves sensors being mounted on every power pole and transmission tower. However, the current 4G wireless network only supports a few thousand devices per square mile, and this is largely being used by people's cell phone devices. And this is the reason why millions of sensors haven't already been deployed. However, this is about to change. With the new 5G network, it is capable of handling up to 1 million devices per square mile. And that's all the bandwidth that's needed to finally deploy sensors at every vulnerable point across the power grid. So with sensors installed everywhere throughout the grid, if lightning strikes, the sensors will be able to detect the overload and prevent devastating cascade failures. And it's all being made possible by 5G networks. And he tries to bolster confidence in this plan by mentioning the amount of money that's being invested into the 5G network. But rather than recommending AT&T or Verizon, he's recommending this unknown company that produces this tiny module that he's teasing in this sales letter. So we've got most of the details now. The sales letter continues just to drum up the hype and build up the sense of urgency in investing in this stock and creating a fear of missing out that we might already be too late to buy into this $8 stock. He says if we're not quick about getting in, large-scale investors might buy it up first and drive the price up or buy the company out entirely. He says if we get in early enough, it could be a replay of Cisco's legendary 200,000% price surge. And he compares the grid upgrade to the adoption of the internet, which is what launched Cisco to success in 1990 when its shares traded for 4 cents. And by now we're about 45 minutes into his presentation, but he doesn't want to do us a disservice by just telling us the stock ticker outright. He wants us to buy into his report that lets us know how much we should buy it for and when we should sell it. And he'll give us this report for free. But we've seen enough of these newsletters to know that when they say they'll give us something for free, they're not really going to give it to us for free. And the reason he's not going to give it for free is because he wrote this report as a service to his energy investor subscribers. So for you to get this free report, you have to become a paid subscriber. And then finally he gets to the price. He considers the report to be valued at $199 or $99, so a total of $400 in free research, and we can have it for $99 with a risk-free trial. Okay, well, no mention of the company name or stock here, but enough good clues that at Green Bull Research, we believe we know the company that he's teasing. Okay, so just to recap, Keith Kohl is promoting something that he calls 5G Volta, and one small company that's powering the technology behind it that offers the opportunity to turn $1,500 into $120,000. To get the company name and ticker symbol, you'll have to buy into his investment service to get the details. But we're revealing the stock here for you, and it's going to be free, really free. So let's take a look at the clues. He tells us it's an $8 stock. We know that Keith Kohl specializes in global energy investments. We've seen him tease other opportunities before, and we know that some of the things he says should be taken with a grain of salt. But he mentions that tens of thousands of tiny modules are being shipped out from this warehouse in upstate New York. And this turns out to be a really solid clue, the fact that he's attached a photo of the warehouse. He did attempt a bit of cover-up. He photoshopped out the name off of the building. We'll show you that in just a minute. He claims that the brand new hardware is a vital component for the 5G revolution. And what we're talking about is these little tiny modules here. Some other hyped up claims include that investors will make 40 times their money, and it could generate 4,000% gains a few months if you get on the ground floor today. He compares it to Nvidia, and even Cisco's legendary 200,000% surge. But with all the hype, it just ends in another typical sales pitch. He's got some free reports that aren't really free. It'll cost you $99 a year or $179 for 2 years. But we think you'd rather just find out the name of the stock for free. And we're just about to tell you what it is. Well, so what the heck is 5G Volta? Well, it's a made-up name that Keith Kohl created for marketing purposes. It has something to do with an executive order on securing the United States bulk power system, basically meaning that the electrical grid is vulnerable and in desperate need of an upgrade, and that the tiny modules that he's shown us above are the critical centerpiece of this plan. And this investment opportunity is what he calls 5G Volta. It has something to do with sensors that monitor the grid. If an electrical line goes down, the sensors detect this and prevent the grid from overloading. So how exactly does the power grid and 5G tie in together? Well, 5G is capable of handling more sensors than 4G, about 1,000 times more. And under the current 4G network, there simply isn't the bandwidth to monitor that many sensors. But as 5G rolls out, these sensors can be implemented in much higher numbers at vulnerable spots and secure the power grid across the nation. Kohl says that over 100 million 5G sensors have to be deployed across the power grid, and all of them require this tiny module from one little known company. And this module is a radio frequency filter that is included in each sensor that allows the sensors to communicate on the 5G network. So, what is the company being teased? Are you ready to get rich? Here's what we know. The little known company's stock trades at $8 per share, and its market cap is $314 million. The 5G sensors based on this tiny module will soon be sitting on 1.5 million high voltage transmission towers, and the company has 32 patented technologies in this area. And that's all the information that we need to identify the pick. He is talking about Acoustis Technologies, ticker symbol AKTS. Now, we don't know the exact date that he published this teaser, but it's been a couple of months since AKTS has been trading at $8, not since December of last year. Currently, the price is sitting closer to $15, with a market cap of $630 million. We don't think it's his teaser report that drove the price up since December, however. Likely the uptick is due to customer order news that recently came out. But we're still confident that this is the right pick, because Acoustis is a New York-based company that designs and manufactures RF filters for 5G networks. And they do hold 32 patents. But the real clincher to ensure it? Remember that photoshopped image of the warehouse that he showed us with the company name removed from the building? Well, in an SEC report, we find the exact same image undoctored. And there's the company name right there, Acoustis. So we're confident that this exposed stock is a slam dunk. But is it a 40 times opportunity? Well, it certainly sounds like an exciting opportunity the way he describes it, but it really is just pure speculation, and you'd want to do your own due diligence before investing. So to recap, Keith Kohl has teased this opportunity that he calls 5G Volta that could turn $1,500 into $120,000. The opportunity is centered around an executive order to secure the US power grid. The company being teased is one that manufactures RF filters that are used in grid monitoring, and they interact with the 5G network. Hence 5G Volta. In order to get the details on this company, you have to buy into his advisory service, which would cost $99 for the first year. But now you can put that money to better use because we just exposed the stock for you for free. It's Acoustis Technologies, AKTS. We hope this exposed investment provides some value to you and helps you out. Please let us know what you think of this opportunity in the comments below. Are you going to sign up for Kohl's Energy Investor Newsletter? Do you believe that Acoustis is the technology best positioned to profit on smart power grid upgrades? Here at Green Bull Research, we expose investment teasers like this on a regular basis. And unlike most of these overhyped teasers, at Green Bull Research, the information really is free. So if you'd like to stay informed on these hot tips, just go to greenbullresearch.com/join and scroll to the bottom of the page where you can enter your email to receive our newsletter every time we expose another investment teaser. If you found this video useful, please subscribe and give it a like. Thank you very much for watching.